Thyristors are available in the market in different packagings. It is available in the studs type, just like this. It is also available in the market just like a disc type of punch press type. It is packaging SMD format. This is your diamond type SCR packaging. This is a plastic packaging. Here you can find the three legs. The leftmost leg is called the cathode, middle one is called anode, and rightmost leg is called the gate. Thyristor modules are also available in the plastic packaging format. Here you can find two HCRs in this module, which is shown here, two HCRs in one plastic packaging. Now we are going towards the constructional features and the classification of power semiconductor switches. If you are considering the layer by which we are going to construct a module or switches, we are going to classify it a two-layer devices, three-layer devices, and four-layer devices. Under the two-layer devices, we could find the power diodes are there. Under the three-layer category, we will have the power transistors, and under the four-layer devices, we are having the thyristors. So today we are going to discuss the thyristor family and SCR. As the name implies, the thyristor name is taken from the two things, thyratron tube and transistor, because these thyristors are showing the behavior just like a thyratron tube and transistor. Therefore, their name is taken as a thyristor because of that thyristor family devices are showing the behavior just like these two devices, thyratron tube and transistor. These names as a thyristor family devices. Thyratron tube is basically a gas filled tube used as a high power electrical switch and control rectifier. And as you know, all you know, the transistor is a semiconductor device used to amplify or switch the electronic signals and the electrical power. This thyristor was firstly proposed by the William Shockley in 1950. In 1956, it was supported and commercialized by the Bell Labs and General Electric Company. These two companies, Bell Laboratories and General Electric companies, are jointly supported and commercialized these thyristors in 1956. Thyristor family devices are very popular, and this is considered to be as a solid state device family. It is most extensively used in power electronic circuitry, and it is very useful due to its ability to handle a large power and current in our power applications. It is fast acting device as compared to the mechanical switch and electromagnetic relays. Under the thyristor family devices, we will have the HCRs, which can be represented in the circuit as anode, cathode and gate, just like this. The next device is your gate turn-off thyristor, GTO, which is represented as like this, just similar to that thyristor or SCR, but we will have the two arrows in the gate side in their symbol. Next device is very popular, TRIAC, and represented like this. Two thyristors connected in T parallel. Next is your DIAC, and represented like this. Here we are having the two anodes. Then we are having the silicon controlled switch, SCS, and it is represented as anode, cathode, and two gates are here, and one gate is towards the anode side. Then we are having the MOS controlled switch, MCT, which is represented like this. Here in this representation, gate is isolated because we are using the MOS technology here. Then we are going to consider the SCR in our discussion. It is most popular and oldest device among the other thyristor families. It is very popular due to its fast switching action, small in size, and capable of handling a large voltage and current. It is very oftenly used in your power electronics applications. By using the third terminal, which is named as a gate, we can control its turn on. SCR is turned on when the anode is positive with respect to the cathode and we are applying a gate signal. SCR can be taken as a controlled rectifier or controlled diode because it is showing the resemblance just like an ordinary diode in the forward direction, except we can control its turn on, but the diode cannot be controlled turn on because we are not having the third terminal there. It can conduct in the forward direction only if we are applying the gate signal or triggering signal and the gate circuitry. It cannot conduct under the reverse bias just like an ordinary PN junction diode. Now we are going to discuss the layer diagram of a thyristor. When we are talking about the layer diagram, it is having the 4 layers alternating P and N layers are joining together and making a one module which is called SCR. Here we have find the 3 junctions. We are adjoining the 4 layers, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. First layer is P, second layer is N, again third layer is P, again 4 layer is N. This is the structure of SCR. We are having the 3 junctions, junction J1, junction J2, junction J3. Anode and cathode as far as the conventional thyristors. Here, this P layer, outermost P layer is your anode. Last 4 layer, outermost N layer is called the cathode. Inner P is your gate. If we are intersecting this thyristor just like this, we can find 2 virtual transistors to be found here. If you are intersecting the SCR just like this, if we are intersecting the thyristor in the middle, we can find 2 virtual transistors here. One transistor is your PNP transistor and another transistor is your NPN transistor. So that means in the structure of SCR, we will have the 2 virtual transistors. one transistor is NPN and another transistor is your PNP. If you are trying to draw the equivalent circuit of this thyristor, we will have the two transistors here, Q1, Q2. Q1 is your PNP transistor and Q2 is your NPN transistor. E1 is emitter of Q1, B1 is your base of Q1, C1 is your collector of Q1. B2 is your base of Q2, C2 is collector of Q2 and E2 is your emitter of Q2. Here both these transistors connected by the base and collector. Base of one transistor is connected to the collector of another transistor. That means it is making a latch circuitry. Emitter E1 is made out your anode and E2 is made out to your cathode. Now we are discussing the constructional features. Here we are having the highly resistive N base region which forms the junction J2, which is shown here just like a green color and minus layer. Typically this layer N minus base region is doped with the phosphorus atom, where the donor ion concentration Nd ranges from the value of 10 to the power 13 to 10 to the power 14 centimeter per centimeter cube, and thickness of this layer and base region is ranging from the 1 micrometer to 100 micrometers. It is depending upon the voltage rating of a particular thyristor. Thickness of this N base region is increasing your forward conducting voltage drop or forward voltage drop. Cathode region is ranging from the 2 micrometer to 5 micrometers only for this anode region. Here the cathode region is only from 2 micrometer to 5 micrometer thick, and it is having the donor ion concentration ranging from the 10 to the power 16 to 10 to the power 18 per centimeter cube, which is shown here a blue color and plus layer. For the high voltage rating SCRs are generally made by the diffusing of aluminum and galvanium, making it a P region. Here P region, emitter P and base P, which is shown here in the pink color, it is diffused by the aluminum or galvanium. Typically the acceptor ion concentration under these two layers is starting from the 10 to the power 15 to 10 to the power 17 per centimeter cube. The region, the thickness of these P regions is about starting from the 10 micrometers to 50 micrometers. When you are going to compare the doping concentration, the highest doping concentration you will find in the N plus cathode region, which is shown here in a blue color. Next highest is your P, which is shown here in pink color. That means the anode and gate. And the lowest doping concentration is of N base region, but it is the thickest region in your SCR structure. The typical material used in fabricating the SCRs are silicon, galvanium nitride, silicon carbide. Aluminium is used as a dopant. Carbon is also used as a dopant. Phosphorus is also used as a dopant here. Platinum and gold is also used in fabricating the SCRs. Now moving towards the discussion of mode of operations and static VI characteristics. This figure shows a typical VI characteristics of a SCR. This plot is drawn against to the anode current and anode to cathode voltage. Here VA is the anode to cathode voltage and IA is your anode current. Here VA is your anode to cathode voltage and IA is your anode current. When you're talking about the mode of operation, here basically three mode of operation is possible: forward blocking mode, forward conduction mode and reverse blocking mode. So starting from the reverse blocking mode, when your anode of this device is connected to the negative terminal of the battery and cathode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, then your SCR is working under the reverse blocking mode. It can block the reverse voltage, but it cannot conduct in the reverse direction. Under the reverse blocking mode, a very minute current, which is known as reverse leakage current, is flowing, is of order microampere to milliampere, which can be neglected. Then coming to the forward blocking mode, when anode is made positive with respect to cathode, but we cannot achieve this voltage, forward breakover voltage, period to this forward breakover voltage, or we are not applying any kind of gate signal. That means under this condition thyristor is not triggered, not turned on, is just behaving like a open switch. It is blocking the forward voltage, this voltage, forward voltage. Under this condition, under forward blocking condition, we are having the HCR is just like a open switch. It can block the voltage, but it cannot conduct. Under this condition, we are having some leakage current called forward leakage current, which is of order milliampere or microamperes depending upon the thyristor rating, which can be neglected. Next operating mode is forward conduction mode. When we are having the possibility to achieve forward breakover voltage, or we are applying a gate current. Let us consider this condition when Ig is 0, gate current is 0, but somehow we are achieving the forward breakover voltage. This much of voltage, if applied across the switch, it can conduct. It can suddenly go from M point to N point. It cannot stay at this region. It is suddenly going from M to N. That means suddenly going from the forward conduction mode to forward blocking mode to forward conduction mode. It is suddenly somehow, if we could achieve V breakover, forward breakover voltage, our SCR is suddenly switching from the forward blocking mode to forward conduction mode, that is from M point to N point, and this can be start conducting. Our current is start building up through that switch. That means anode current is start flowing through anode to cathode through this device under the forward conduction mode. Under the forward conduction mode, we will have the current, but forward conduction voltage is very low. It is nearly equal to 1 volt. So under this condition, it is acting as a closed switch. It is also considered to be as a on state. Here we are having the two terms, latching current and holding current. The latching current is related to the turn on of a thyristor at point N. At point just above the point N, we can consider the latching current. That is, it is a minimum current required to turn on the thyristor, below which your thyristor cannot be latched up. If it is not achieved, your thyristor is not going to be turned on. So somehow, by some means, your anode current is made above the latching current. That is the condition of turn on. While considering the other side, the holding current is related to the turn off of a thyristor. Your thyristor can be turned off if your anode current is made below the holding current. If somehow we could achieve this condition that your anode current is below the holding current, your thyristor is turned off, otherwise no. If you are maintaining anode current is maintaining the above the holding current, that means it can again brought towards the conduction side. Okay, it cannot be turned off. The condition is that somehow you can make your anode current below the holding current. Otherwise, if it is not possible, your thyristor can be turned on again. Okay, moving forward. This is the circuitry by which we can plot the VI characteristics. This is your SCR, this is your anode terminal, this is your cathode terminal, this is your gate. So load, this your anode to cathode circuitry is having the load terminal. This is your power circuitry or load circuitry. Load is connected between the anode and cathode. This is your supply. This is your supply. And this is your gate circuitry, which is connected through a switch. Anode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery and cathode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. That means your thyristor is under the forward blocking mode. When switch S is closed, it brought into the conduction site. Okay, moving forward. Here we are showing what is the effect of gate current over the forward breaker voltage. We can see here from this plot, if your gate current is increasing in this fashion, your forward voltage is decreasing. Such as when we are having the gate current Ig1, previously you are having the V breaker voltage at this level, rated side. If your gate current is increased, then your forward breaker voltage is about here at the X point. Again, increasing the gate current here, your forward voltage is brought down at the point of Y. Again, increasing the gate current at the level of Ig3, your forward breaker voltage is brought down at the level of Z. So that behavior is also showing in the VI characteristics. If you are increasing the gate current, what you find, your turn on is possible before you are going towards the P breaker side. That means it can start conducting somewhat at the lower voltages. Again, increasing the gate current, it will start connecting somewhat at the lower voltages. So that is the objective. That's why we are applying the in our applications, in our lab side, we are not having such a proper voltage that we could achieve the V breakover. So that's why we are applying the gate current in order to lower V breakover. Switching characteristics. Switching characteristics is showing the behavior of different parameters against the time. By switching characteristics, we can plot the different parameters against the time. Here we are plotting the anode voltage, anode current, anode voltage, anode current, and gate current. You can see here, when the switch is open, you are maintaining the voltage V here at this point. Suppose we are initiating the turn on and we are start applying the gate current here at the 0 point. So gate current is building up. When we are achieving the 90% of the gate current, 90% of the gate current, then you will find your thyristor is start building up their anode current. Previously it was the forward leakage current. From here, forward leakage current, it is start building up here up to till the 10% of the rated value of anode current. Here 90% to rated value of gate current, and when the gate current is at the rated value, what you will find, anode current is at the 10%. Similar, anode voltage is decreased by the 10%. So this time, which is starting from the 90% of the gate current or forward leakage current to the 10% of the gate anode current, it is called a delay time. The time required to achieve the 10% of the anode current from the forward leakage current is called the delay time. Okay. So from 10% to 90% of the anode current or 90% anode voltage to the 10% of the anode voltage, you will have the rise time. This is called the rise time. This time from here to here or from here to here. 10% of the VA to the final value of VA or forward on state voltage drop, or 90% of the anode current to the final value of the anode current. This is called a peak time. This is called a peak time. So considering these three all, we are having the T on. This is your T on. So T on is equal to T delay plus T rise plus T peak. So after T peak, your voltage is on state voltage drop across the thyristor, and this is your rated value of anode current. We are not considering the turn off here right now. This will be discussed afterwards when we are discussing the commutation circuitry. Coming again to the turn on side, you can see here during turn on you are having a finite amount of current here and finite amount of voltage across the switch. So that means if you are going to calculate the power loss during the turn on, you can plot this graph, just multiplying the values of V and I. What V and I? This is your V, this is your I. You are just simply multiplying these two plots, this plot and this plot, in order to find out the turn on losses. This is your turn on loss, because you are having the finite amount of voltage and finite amount of current during turn on. You will find this kind of plot. This is power loss during turn on. Okay, moving forward. So coming to the conclusion side, thyristors are the semiconductor devices that can operate only in the switching mode. Thyristors are current operated devices. Here, a small gate current can control a large anode current. Also, SCR is a semi-controlled device because we can control its turn on. We are not having the control its turn off. For the turn off, it will require a separate commutation circuitry. It can conduct only in forward direction when we are having the triggering signal applied to the gate. Thyristor acts like a rectifying diode when it is triggered on. Anode current must be greater than the holding current in order to maintain the conduction. It will never conduct in the reverse direction, no matter you are going to provide the gate signal or not. It doesn't. So thank you all. If you are having any kind of doubt, you can mail me for any clarification at this email ID rds24pe@gmail.com. Thank you.